When you see a mushroom in the forest, what you're seeing is actually the reproductive appendage of an underground fungus. Much like the way that apple trees produce apples to spread their seeds, fungi produce the mushrooms that we see for the purpose of spreading spores. You gotta live with that. The main fungus underground looks like a bunch of crisscrossing white hairs, and together those hairs are called mycelium. In a natural forest, the mycelium take over, spreading through the soil and growing into the roots of plants and trees. By stretching across the forest in this way, they form what's called a mycorrhizal network, and everything they're attached to is part of that network. This network is so dense that everywhere you step in a natural forest, your foot is probably standing on top of hundreds of thousands of feet of fungal threads. Scientists call this the wood wide web, and what plants can do when they're connected to it is like something out of a sci-fi movie. The oldest trees are called mother trees. These are the trees whose roots are most deeply established in the soil and as a result have the most fungal connections. Using these connections and resources, they can direct water and other nutrients to saplings. So a sapling that's completely shaded can survive if it's attached to the fungal network. On top of being able to share water and nutrients, a tree being attacked by insects or a fungus can send a signal to its neighbors so they can raise their defenses. This community is so beautiful that dying trees in the network stop receiving nutrients for the betterment of all the other trees. Now, I'm not sure if they're doing this voluntarily or if they're being forced out of the network, but let's just pretend that this is part of the beauty of the trees talking to each other. There's no such thing as a true utopia, and the wood wide web is no exception. This world can be really shady. Right along with warning their neighbors of disease and pests, there are also plants releasing toxins into the system to kill rivals. Established trees donate less to the system if they feel like there are too many trees of a different species that are connected to the network. Trees with the most connections, aka mother trees, are these benevolent beings that help everybody in need in the network. They can tell the difference between other tree species and trees that are their own species, and they give more nutrients to trees of their own species, but it gets even more specific than that. Of the trees that are their same species, they can tell the difference between the trees that have a direct lineage to them, like their daughters, and trees that are of the same species that are not directly related to them, and they give more nutrients to their direct descendants. So the direct descendants end up not only being the healthiest, but also having the strongest fungal connections among the trees that are being helped. So it turns out natural forests are full of intricate relationships that are constantly balancing cooperation and competition. I could go on about this forever, but the thing that keeps me up at night is the fact that fungi have been here way before plants. But we spend so much time thinking about how fascinating the trees are that we never stop to ask who's actually pulling the strings. Have fungi domesticated trees? Someone should probably look into that.